Hey everybody, thank you for watching my videos. Today I'm going to talk about Engelhard rounds and the history of the company and how I got that one that you see right in front of you. The company was started by Charles Engelhard Sr. in 1902. He founded the American Platinum Works in 1903 and acquired some other companies. In 1904, he purchased Baker and Company, a platinum smelting and refining business, and Engelhard became the world's largest refiner and fabricator for platinum, gold, silver, as well as a producer of silver and silver alloys in mill forms, and operated the world's biggest metal smelter. They produced a lot of things, a lot of metal things and stuff. It wasn't just bullion and stuff. It wasn't just one thing. It was a lot of metal things. In 1958, Engelhardt's son, Charles Jr., consolidated the family's holdings to form the Engelhard Industries Incorporated, a publicly held company on the New York Stock Exchange. In 1963, they took 20% interest in minerals and chemicals Philip MCP, and the sales took off soon afterwards. In 1964, they had 447 million in sales, and in 1966, they had 709 million in sales. Engelhard was doing 40% of that figure. In 1967, they merged the two companies, and the Engelhard family owned 40% of the company. The new company was called Engelhard Minerals and Chemicals, EMCC. In 1972, EMCC had $2 billion in sales. 80% of that was supplied by Philip. In 1974, it had reached $5 billion. And in 1981, the Philip brothers earned 89% of the corporation's $26.6 billion in revenue and 88% of the $532.7 million in the U.S. profits. Later, the business kind of slowed, and the Philip brothers, which would later be called Fibros, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, renamed the Engelhard Corporation, and in 2006, Engelhard was taken over by BASF for $5 billion. Later in 2006, they began renaming to Engelhard Worldwide. As of 2010, it's still under the BASF Corporation. So that's the history of the company. I'd take interest in that, knowing different countries and companies' mints and how things came to be. So if that interests you, great. So in front of you is a prospector round. It's 1983. And they produce the prospector rounds from 1982 to 1988. From my research, the 83 and the 87 are lower minted years, but I can't seem to find how many were minted per year. Just that the 83 and 87 are lower minted years. On the front there, you see the prospector. Proofs have the prospector kind of like a frosted image, and so this is not a proof. This, it's clear. It's the same. It's not frosted. It's the same as the background. And depending on the particular year you have, some of them have an E like that. Some of them have eagles. So it just depends. And for this particular round, I was actually at an auction, and they had 3 silver rounds, and it was buyer's choice. So you bid on it, and whatever the total ends up being, you can pick 1, 2, or all 3 of them. Each of them being that total that the auction ended on. I had bid against somebody, and it went up to $27.50. And when I got up there and I looked over them, the other 2 rounds I didn't seem to recognize. I didn't know. They looked neat, and at the moment I can't remember even what they were. When I looked at this one, and this was when I first started buying and collecting silver. When I flipped it over and saw Engelhard, I knew that name from somewhere. I didn't know if it was rare. I didn't know, if anything about the company. I didn't know. But somehow the name stuck out to me, and I'd probably read it somewhere, previously looking into all the silver stuff. So I chose this round. From what I can tell, for the 1983, on whether it's eBay or different websites, from my understanding, the going rate is about $30 to $40 for one of these. So I think for $27.50, I did pretty good. And I was happy to have it. It's something different. That's the only prospector round that I have. The other Engelhard item that I have is this bar. And from my research, they produced like 1.15 million of these particular ones. And it was either this year, all the bars they produced from 1981 to 1985. Can I see the back there? It's just got their name. With those, there's a lot of different ones. The E can be a different size. It can be frosted, not frosted. I think the backs of these can be different. The serial number down here, depending on what year it was made, is different. But these are the two different Engelhard items that I have. So I figured I'd just do a video, tell the history of them, and then show what I have. So if you happen to know of a website or anywhere that tells the mintage for the different years of the Prospector rounds, post it in the comments below. If you have the American Prospector or Engelhard medals or bullion, share it in the comments below. So again, thank you for watching my videos.